Hello, hello, friends in Facebook land. Once again, so this is Bali Facebook Live number 2, and this is a view from where I live, just over this rice field here. And today, what's been on my mind lately? Recently had a couple of people start working with me, so going through my various coaching agreements with them. And one of the things I talk about that I ask of in our time together, in our relationship together, is undefended openness. And I see that, undefended openness really is a path to enriched freedom in all of your relationships. So what do I mean by undefended openness? The whole openness thing is like two ways. Am I open in sharing or what's going on with me, how things look to me, sharing how I feel, sharing all aspects of myself, sharing everything that goes on for me, sharing my world, how the world looks to me, sharing my experiences, whilst also at the same time being open to receive, being open to seeing something new. Why on earth would anyone hire a coach and spend a lot of money, make a huge investment, if you're not open to seeing something new? So that openness is two-way. Open in expressing ourselves, expressing how things look to us, and also being open to see something new, open to receive. And then the undefended piece really naturally links to that, because I can't be open if I am defensive. I can't be sure. I can probably express myself for sure, but that's not going to be very fruitful if I'm expressing and sharing myself when I'm feeling defensive. There's a saying, isn't it? Defense is the first act of war. But like if I'm defensive, I'm also not open to receive. If I'm defending how the world looks to me, how my relationships look to me, how people look to me, if I'm defending my current view, it not makes it impossible for sure. It doesn't make it impossible, it makes it much more challenging, much more difficult to see something new. And really that's what coaching is all about. Coming into a coaching relationship with undefended openness so that we can see something new and have a new experience of life, an enriched experience of life. Looks to me like in one way or another, everybody that I work with is imprisoned by their current perspective of how life looks to them. They're imprisoned into a current mindset. So in seeing something new, they very often just feel liberated, because whilst mostly I try, or at least I'm conscious of not being predictive, what I'm inviting my clients to see is just the nature of all of the stories, not necessarily needing to tell themselves a new story, but just to see the nature of the stories and beliefs. So they don't need to create a new story, and in seeing the nature of their stories and seeing the nature of their beliefs, become free. They don't even need a new story. Undefended openness, not defending my current perspective, not defending how things look to me, automatically being open to see something new, and reflecting on this and see how that can be so powerful in every single relationship. There's a wonderful Ernest Hemingway quote, at least I think it's his. He says, "The smartest guy I know is my tailor. He takes my measurements every time he sees me. Everyone else just expects me to be the same." And I think, wow, that's so cool. But also, we don't see, we've heard this, like, we don't see people, we see who we think they are. All that kind of stuff. And I touched on this in a post recently, I think it was yesterday, again, about my dad, probably the most transformed relationship ever in my life, is I saw my dad through a whole bunch of stories for many, many, many years. And it really wasn't until I was able to see the role they were playing. I didn't have to change those stories. I just had a moment where I became open. I was no longer defending those stories. I just had a time where I was just so open to seeing something new, and I got curious. Wow, who is he? What's it really like to be him? Instead of looking through my stories of him, I just got curious. What's it really like to be him? And it's from there that real intimacy and connection develops. Intimacy and connection doesn't come from being defended, from being defensive. It comes from being undefended and open. So something for you to consider, even if you don't enter into any kind of coaching relationship, what role might undefended openness play in your relationships? Okay, take care. Goodbye from Bali. See you again soon.